Rick and I are finishing traveling with our friends Eva and Suresh in Northeast India. And we've been traveling with our guide, Rajiv Verma, who is a principal in the Northeast Explorers. And Rajiv is an IT consultant. He is a web designer, and he's worked in large corporations. He's worked in Chicago and Bangalore in India, and he's come back to the Northeast to work. And he has started a tour company that takes folks around this rather remote part of India, which is separated from the mainland by a little sliver of land over Bangladesh. So it's very different from the rest of India. So, Rajiv, talk a little bit about your passion for Northeast India and why you started this company to take people to see what's here.
Yeah, as you already said, Northeast India is different in a lot of ways from the rest of country, and the way of life here of the people, the food habits, even the natural vistas around the tribal culture, and their way of life. Everything is pretty different. Not to mention the flora and fauna. But had always been passionate about it, but then being born and brought up from here, but then the reason I started the company is because I saw there were quite a few companies taking people around, showing them around the parts, but all they were doing is they were just showing them the touristy areas, sightseeing sort of stuff, which you get to do when you go to any touristy place in any part of the world. What they were not showing was the real, what lies beneath the skin of the region. The region is so rich in the tribal culture. There are hundreds of different tribes and sub-tribes, and each of them are different in their own ways. Their fooding is different, their heritage is different, their art and culture is different. They live a very simple life, but it's a very very rich experience. And there were hardly any companies. Maybe 2 3 years back, there were almost none who were actually showing people what actually lies below the skin of the conventional tourism and the tourist spots and stuff. And what we have in the Northeast is something I am really proud of. I really feel good about the kind of heritage that we have, about the kind of culture, different cultures that we have here in this region, and nobody was actually showing it in the right way. So I started this. Generally, the primary reason was to show people from an insider's perspective, to take them to different places where which are hardly talked about. People who are not from this region don't even know about these places. They've never even heard. Even people from the plains have not heard much about a lot of places in Northeast which are really really rich in tribal culture, and and the vistas and stuff, the food. These are all very unique, and they're an experience in themselves.
So, Rick and I have been to India several times, and we had never traveled here. We had an exciting adventure with you. One of the highlights was a visit to Majuli Island, which is the largest river island in the world, and it's the middle of the Brahmaputra River. Just a few words about how sublime this island is and how different it is from the rest of the surrounding culture.
Yes, Majuli is a pretty unique place. You see, it has, it also has this historical and religious significance of it being the heart of the Neo-Vaishnavite culture that was started in the late 1500s. But apart from being that, it's such a calm place. The life itself in the island is very slow, and it's something intangible, but it is beyond words. So like as you yourself were there for 3 days, now obviously it has got a rich heritage and stuff, but then the people and the place and the vibe of the place is so serene and beautiful. And not to mention the environment. It is separated from the mainland by the Brahmaputra, and then the tributaries that bifurcate it here and there. All of it makes it a picture perfect place to do nothing, as we say. You just go there, slow down, relax, and there's not many bells and whistles in there. But then you once you are there, you don't really need it.
And yet there's a rich culture. We
is.
visited monasteries where they make masks, these really colorful
Correct,
masks.
correct.
We saw the monk dance, which is
Yes.
called
The Kshatriya dance.
Shatyat, yes. And we walked through a missing village, which is the largest tribe
Yes,
on
on
the
the
island.
island.
So it was a wonderful place to go, and I would encourage people to consider going to Northeast India. And if you do, look up Northeast Explorers and talk to Rajiv.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.